you want to add or remove a spacer from your fork, perhaps add in a spacer to get more support as you drive through your travel, or remove a spacer so that you get more of a linear feel, then it's a really simple job as long as you've got the tools for it. So you just need a shock pump and you'll need a socket wrench to open the air side. You can buy Fox specific for Fox, or you can use a filed down socket that you have at home that fits, as long as it's nice and flat. And if you're using rock shots, then you're going to need a different tool for that. It's more like a bottom bracket tool to open that up. So just to prove that this is a sub 5 minute job, I'm going to pop a little timer up in the corner and we're going to do this in less than 5 minutes. So first thing you want to do is locate your air side. So that is the side not with dials, it'll come with a cap. So you just want to open up that cap there, and you should see underneath there is a little valve, which is how you get your air in and out. Now take your shock pump and screw that on to the air side, and you need to let all of your air out, because that is highly pressurized. It's going to be so dangerous to open that if it's still got air in. Now, if you've got a pump with a little lock ring, then you might need to push that down as well, screw it in. And as soon as you see the dial move and it's registering pressure, then that means we know it's locked on. And I've got a little button here, which should let all of the air out. Now, some shocks, you actually have to press the button in halfway to let it all out. So this might take a little while, but while I'm doing this, do make sure you take note of what your pressure was beforehand so that you can match it when you put it back in. And also, I like to measure my sag from the seal to the O-ring so that I can match that when I put the air back in as well. And when you've taken all of the air out and you can't hear any more air coming out at all, then you can disconnect your shock pump. Now, for safety reasons, because it is highly pressurized, I will always use a tool or a finger to kind of give an extra press on the valve to make sure there is literally no air in there whatsoever. So luckily I've got some nails here. As you can see, there was still quite a bit in there. And then you take your socket, either your homemade one or your Fox one, or if you're rock shocks, then it'll be your little bottom bracket tool. Fit it in. Make sure you're turned, if you're using a torque wrench, to loosen. So it'll be righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. So we're opening it, so lefty-loosey, anti-clockwise, all the way around. And then once you start to see a gap, you can probably start doing that by hand if you want to. And then this cap here is literally what holds all of your spacers. So these little rubber things, these plastic or rubber things will just click off. So if you want none, then you can put this cap back in. If you want one, like I like, you clip it back on. If you want more than that, you clip them to each other. Then you can grease the threads. Mine's already quite greased, so that's pretty good. And then you pop your desired amount back in and you screw it up. So we're flicking it around to righty-tighty this time. So clockwise action. And then we tighten this up and check your manufacturer's settings for your suspension, what torque you need. Just give it a really good firm tighten up. And then you're good to put your air back in with your shock pump. So remember what you put in before and match that, or match it and then check your measurements when you're sat on the bike to meet that sag at the same time again. And then just extra bonus tip here, I like to pump it up about 10 or 20 PSI and then cycle the forks through the travel So you can equalize positive and negative chambers, and you just get a better working fork that way. And then keep going until you've got back to the travel that you want. And there we have it. And then we take that off, and don't forget to pop the cap back in to protect your air valve, and you're good to go. Right, sub 5 minute maintenance skill. Everyone should be able to do that. Hopefully you found that helpful. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like 5 minute content.